Welcome to the Scottsdale Vibes podcast. I'm your host, Alicia Haygood. This week is Easter and Passover, so I hope everyone has a fun time celebrating with their family and friends. But first, we're going to talk about one of the most important sports here in Arizona. I myself am not familiar with it. I probably stand out more than I already do. Golf. I know everywhere we turn is a golf course. It is the season slowing down a little bit, but we somehow have year-round golf here. So I'm so excited to introduce you to Chris Montgomery. He is here from the Arizona Golf Association, and he's going to talk all about golf. So stay tuned right after this break. Buying a home can be scary and sometimes frustrating, but all of that can go away with the right realtor. And that's where Sean Shackleton with the Shackleton Group is here for you. Sean has over 25 years experience in real estate. She's here to get you what you want and won't settle for less. She's experienced, knowledgeable, and understands this market, which these days is always changing. Take the stress out of your next home purchase by calling Sean at 480-734-7277. You can also find her at theshackletongroup.com. Golf. It's really hard to believe there's any other sports here played in the Valley, as everywhere you look is a golf course. I mean, let's go Suns. Rally the Valley is fun. And in fact, Chris used to work for the Suns as well. But one organization in particular is celebrating 100 years this year, and it's the Arizona Golf Association. The Arizona Golf Association serves as the official governing body of the amateur golf in Arizona. What started out as a small group of golfers who got together to run the annual amateur championship has grown to an association of more than 700 men and women's clubs, serving nearly 80,000 individual members. Today, the AGA is a volunteer-based organization directed by amateur golfers promoting the game of golf and providing valuable benefits and services to its members. This week, I have Chris Montgomery, who is the Director of Marketing and Partnership at AGA. And hopefully, like me, you can learn a thing or two about the game. Because besides driving the golf court, Chris, I really don't know much about the course. So thank you for joining me here at the table. You moved to the Valley here in the early 90s. You started a career at the Suns, like I mentioned. You're still really lucky to work in the sports industry now, but on the golf side. I started my career in sports as well. I loved it. It's fun. It's relaxing. It is a really cool atmosphere to be in. But I want to learn more about the importance of golf, because you made the comment to me one time that you said you learned early on that so much business really starts on the course. So what did you mean by that?
It's funny because in college, I mentioned before, I played college football and we had golf class. I think I went twice.
Yeah,
okay?
We had a golf class in college too.
I think I went twice. I just had to study the little bit of rules for the final, and I was good. That meant I had all these opportunities to play on the golf course, and I didn't value it at the time. But when I first started working for the Suns, what was great about working for Jerry Colangelo and that group is he was very charitable. So we went to a lot of charity golf events.
Oh, okay.
And all my colleagues were like going to these events, and they were outselling me.
Ooh.
And I started noticing, I used to make fun of them. You play that much golf, I would be great at it because I'm, a former athlete. I, of course, would be great at that. And they're
Such an athlete comment.
They're like, sure. But what was really painful was watching them all start
the business.
Winning the business, right? And building these really solid relationships. And so I started attending these things. And I used to go every Friday to a place called, it's not in Scottsdale, I think it's Rolling Hills, which is over by the zoo, which might be in Scottsdale when I think about it. And I used to practice every Friday because I'm like, I don't want to embarrass myself at these charity events. What I found was I'm playing golf with these different type of executives and sometimes the celebrities and things. Yeah. And in those 4 hours and sometimes 5, if it's a really, it's a packed tournament.
Yeah, packed tournament.
Right? You get really invaluable time with people. And I think most of us feel like given the time, with somebody, we could learn a lot about them. Mm-hmm. And by building those relationships, as you know, when in this world of doing business, we all feel more comfortable doing business with people we know.
Fair.
Build trust and things. And so the other thing I learned is I'm kind of an impatient person. So I want things to go. And in golf, if you make a mistake, you can get really fiery. I can be like, what kind of idiot does this or that with this swing? But you have to play the next hole or you have to play the next shot. And what it taught me was to be a little bit more patient with a mistake. And so I started seeing the connection to life in general. I feel like I became more patient playing the game, believe it or not. Because you had to learn not to be embarrassing in front of these
good players,
these good players and your guests and everything. And then as I learned about the game, it's one of the few games that creates an equitable field. And what I mean by that is a thing called the golf handicap or the golf index. And so someone might have a handicap of, let's say, 15, right? And someone might have a handicap of 10. There's an equitable way using the golf course and the ratings of each hole where we can play equal. Where I still have a chance to beat the guy who's a 10 handicap.
You just got so excited when you said that. You're like, I can beat him.
That's right. Because listen, I mean, the thing that's a secret about this is almost every athlete I know who is a competitor is playing golf. I mean, you name the sport from hockey to basketball to football to baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
also, I feel like one sport these athletes are allowed to play outside of their professional game. I mean, a lot of them are not allowed to do other sports, snow sports, water sports, just like that, because it's part of their contract to play that if they get injured, they're in trouble.
Right. And it takes a great deal of focus to still play. It's counterintuitive game because the ball is not moving. Right? So there's a hockey player or a baseball player who are taking these, in their sport, the puck or the baseball is moving so fast. And so when they come to play, it's like, this should be even easier than my sport. And they find there is some challenge in where the ball goes and where it ends up and things of that nature. But because of that nature, because you're playing against yourself, I think this is something that, and you can play forever, right? I mean, some of our members are 80, I think, or 85, and they're out there killing it every day. And so that's the other thing. There's so much that golf offers. The first primary thing is the community and the relationship building, right? Because when you sit in a golf course and you find that you're going to play with somebody and you can always have, I used to say misery loves company, right? So if you play poorly, there's always someone else on the golf course playing poorly.
That's
you can
me.
share, you can share that with. And then when you play well, we're envious of those people who play well. And so you also like to be around them. So it creates this really great community of I like to say, a diversity of skill. And it's really great. And like I said, for all the lessons in life, it teaches you from patience to, hey, taking the now, right? The shot I'm about to hit is the now, right?
Yeah.
And then whatever the result is, it's okay. You have to go to another result. Can't be mad about what happened in the past. It's got such great connection to how life goes that I fell in love with it.
Had you ever played before?
So, like I said, I was in college. I played like once.
Right. Okay. But you played football growing up.
Yep.
But golf was completely new to you until you got into your college course.
Again, my socioeconomic situation, let's say, was not in that realm.
It's an expensive sport to have. Yeah. Well, let's talk about the AGA a little bit. You're celebrating 100 years this year. What an accomplishment. I want to learn more about exactly what Arizona Golf Association is, its purpose, and really what you all do for the game.
That's a great question. It's funny. I think that we don't promote it enough, and I get the cool marketing in my title, but there's a great deal of resources that come to marketing, and there's so much and so many different directions we come. So initially, the most important thing that we do, I would say, is we rate golf courses. Our organization rates. And what I mean by that is once we rate the golf courses, that lets people know what they should shoot, par or not. So if you're a good player, you'll shoot 72 at course X, right? That's what the rating lets you know. If you're a bad player like me, you'll shoot, 90 or whatever, and let you know that. And that's the start. And I mentioned the equitable piece.
Yeah.
Right. So that right away sets the playing field or the course for people to play together of different skill sets. The next thing I think we do is we manage the technology and information that we provide all the members so they can enjoy the game more. It enhances the experience of golf when you know the rules, understand the nuances of how to dress and how to do all these things, the fashion.
Yeah. It's a huge part of the game, by the way.
The fashion part is, people, it's funny because some people complain they can't wear their T-shirt out on the golf course, right? Meanwhile, there's other golf courses that require you to dress a particular way. So the lifestyle piece of this, to me, I say golf is as much about the lifestyle to me as it is about the game.
Interesting.
In my opinion, that's just my opinion.
I agree, though.
That's not the Arizona Golf Association.
That's why I go to the golf is for the fashion.
Yeah, I think if you look around our city, I think most day on Fridays, everyone's got a golf polo on, right? You walk around, and so it's an impact. I mean, it's almost a $4 billion impact in our in our economy.
Well,
golf
I
is.
want to talk about like what golf means to the state of Arizona, Scottsdale. I mean, we have everywhere you look, every neighborhood has a course. There's open courses. There's a course every exit off the highway. Why? I mean, I know we have 8 beautiful months where most of the country doesn't, but we still have 4 or 5 very hellacious months, but there's still players out. So what makes Arizona so appealing for golf?
Well, obviously, even though it gets hot, it's the fact that we can play year round because of the temperature.
Okay.
In the Midwest and the North and the East, 9 months they're in kind of a misery setting. Mm-hmm. I think you get a good max. You get 6 months probably in one of those places.
That's true.
If you have good weather. Here we get 12 because our bad weather is 3 months of heat, and the crazies like myself who get the local rates go out and play.
But that's just it. Yeah.
Right?
I knew a guy who was like every Friday his tee time was 6 a.m. And he's like, it's bright. The sun's out at 5 o'clock and it's still 80 degrees. And so every Friday he has a 6 a.m. tee time.
Well, I think you asked me like what we do. And I mentioned we provide the information and technology. We provide events for people. And of course, I think what's important about all those things is they tie back into that community aspect.
Yeah.
Listen, we before we got on here, we were talking. I asked you what do you do to before you go to sleep to kind of get all this out of your head, like to do the information dump so you can just relax and go to sleep. Golf allows you that time with a community of people who are like-minded to do that. It's like an escape where you go and play and you play against yourself, on your friends, but you get that time to talk. And you saw how valuable it was during COVID.
It was,
right?
yeah.
The governor made it essential to play golf. And as much as that seemed ridiculous at the time, we're seeing the impact that COVID had on our children when they didn't have that social time.
That's true.
And so it's super valuable in the social aspect. It also gets you outdoors. It also provides you some exercise, especially those people who are crazy and like to walk these golf courses. Mm-mm. I mean, that's a great exercise. At the end of the day, in a charity tournament, I'm dying.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
But these people who go out and walk, that's super impressive. To me, that's almost like running a half marathon, right? They're out there. It's hot and they're out there. So the value, I think, primarily is the social, and then the competitive thing for the people who think they're athletes like myself.
I was about to say, is that you?
Yeah. You like to go out and compete, and you know what? You can't get hurt typically.
You say that, now you're going to go pull a muscle or something like that.
Well,
Well, let's talk about, you really all help the amateur players, and help promote them and guide them and all the resources you provided. I think that's really interesting because once you go pro, you have everyone after you coming to help you. But to get to that point, you need the love and support more than the pros do almost. Talk about why do you think that, the founders and AGA specifically, you focus on that amateur golfer and help them come up?
Well, I always explain if someone says, oh, so you were at the PGA or you do this. I'm like, no, to put it in sports terms, the USGA is the is the national amateur body of golf. Okay. They're our headquarters or our league office for all the golf associations. Okay. And what that means is, we all feed into that. But the ultimate goal is to go ahead and, like I said, provide information and technology for golfers in any stage to enhance the opportunity to play the game too, as much as it is the experience. And so when you talk about when they started, these guys just wanted to compete. They liked the community. Right? And they said, let's organize this thing. This is 1923. So I'm not exactly sure what they were saying, but if I were there, this might be what they would say. And so what they did is they started it. And then what happens is other people are like, hey, I want to compete. Right? And then I want to compete. And then you create this really neat community. And now we're talking the same language, like putts and birdies. And I got an albatross. And you know what I mean? I got a long drive. It's actually funny. So being a young athlete, we used to always ask, like you'd run into another football player and be like, oh, what's your bench? What's your squat? Right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now it's like, how far do you drive? And what's your handicap?
That's so true.
It's an interesting, guys always rating themselves. But I mean, that's a common language piece that you share with people. And
that's very true.
Everyone thinks you work at the golf association, you work a lot, but you play golf a lot. That's not true.
You're like, it's not. Trust me, I thought the same thing. I got a job here, and now I don't.
And so a lot of our programs now, because like I said, we do events, and so we do a lot of competitive events, and we've changed our focus in the last 7 years to really highlight and promote onboarding new people. To try to make the game less scary for people who don't play often and feel like they get embarrassed. So we do all kinds of things from one of my favorite things we do is called Happy Hour Golf Clinic.
Fun.
And what it is, it's our way to put a new twist on networking.
I love that.
Right? So people who have all these big networking groups, they always go to the network room, they stand with their name tags. We do it, but we put it in a golf clinic. So for 30 minutes, you might be hitting on the driving range, 30 minutes putting. The other thing we do is the wine and nine deal where super casual, people can come out and get a drink.
Do you get
and
like
play
a
nine.
glass at every hole, 9 holes?
No. We're not really promoting the alcohol part, but we're promoting the play part as much more. And we have all kinds of training and different programs for people who are beginners to let them know it's okay. And it's fascinating because when we did the happy hour golf clinic thing, I talked about there was a group that came out called the Fray. Have you ever heard of the Fray?
No.
They're like this big social group of young people, and I mean our target audience was try to onboard the younger 20, 30 somethings,
right?
And this group came out, and in our group of 70 that came to this thing because it was super popular, 50 of them were women.
See, I love that.
Right?
But I think that goes to show what you just said. You're trying to expand the golf community to more than just the average people that are on it or the known, it's not just a man's sport. That's really cool to see. Well, I want to talk, what do you do to help people and amateurs like that? And how amateur are we talking about?
So, and that part, I keep saying we provide technology and information, right?
Yeah.
I keep saying that. Well, some of us aren't really open with, our deficits, right? Like I can't hit a golf ball 300 yards. So
I can't either.
I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about that, but I will go online and look those kinds of things up. What the AGA we provide like a place where you can kind of find all that information. Okay. And in some cases, we provide video so you can learn the rules.
Okay.
You can learn all about where to play.
Yeah.
Right? How it's comfortable to play because this teacher. You can also learn when you're brand new to the game that other people are struggling.
Yes.
Right?
But that goes back to like when you have that fear, you don't even want to take the chance, right? Like I'm the worst person. No one's going to play with me. I'm going to hold everyone's game up. But you're not, and I didn't even think about how, if your handicap's a 10 and a 15, you can play because you're going to equal each other out kind of thing.
Right. The equitable thing.
Yeah.
So whenever I think of someone new to the golf space, they can come on and see everything that goes on in that little world, right? And then they can decide if they want to get, and there's a passive way, I like to say the passive way to get involved is like sign up for our newsletter. Because in our newsletter, we're going to tell you about all the different types of events from the super competitive to the just for fun. We have these things called the Scramble, AGA Scrambles, which are 2-person deals. So if like you and I are like not great, but we want to play together and we want to play with another person or two, like Scramble's our best ball.
Nice.
Right?
Okay.
And so we can go and have fun and not really worry about if we're good or bad and just kind of do this. And again, it's the social and community element to me that drives people to do this more often than not, right?
I love that. Let's take a short break. When we come back, I'm going to get your personal opinion on the game in general and how we can better our game. Stay tuned. When it comes to family-friendly dentistry, there's only one place in Scottsdale, and that's Arizona Center for Laser Dentistry. Teeth cleaning, innovative, pain-free laser dentistry, teeth whitening, root canals, and really any dental need you may have, Dr. Rob and his staff at Arizona Center for Laser Dentistry can handle it all. They're more than just a dentist, they really are family. We've been going there for over 3 years, and my family loves them. When your kids get excited to go to the dentist, you know you've got a good one. Dr. Rob DeVito is the only dentist in town that can handle it all. Give him a call at 480-990-1905. You can find him on the web at drdevito.com. And don't forget to tell him you heard him on the podcast. We're sitting here talking with Chris Montgomery. He is with the Arizona Golf Association, just really learning the game. I'm not going to lie. I don't play golf. I've probably played putt-putt 25, 30 years ago. And I just feel, I will make every excuse in the book. I feel like I need to get out there and try. It is such a Scottsdale, such an Arizona thing to do. So what is your biggest first piece of advice for someone like me?
Well, I always tell people, obviously, go to our website and look around. And the reason is because there's so much to it sometimes that it can seem overwhelming.
It is, yes,
right?
That's exactly. So I don't know where to start. Yeah,
but on our website, you
I can look
find,
it on the course. I promise.
Play, like it tells you all the different opportunities to play, and you can look into those. So if you're new, we also do like new person clinics. Okay. The other thing is some of our retail partners, like PJ Superstore, Vans, they do these different kind of promotional events where you can go and learn how to putt or learn how to do these things. And then also, like you were mentioning earlier in the break there, like what do I need to play?
Yes.
Right? Do I need all these clubs? Do I need all these things? And what's great about, going to the retails, you don't have to go buy the brand new ping set.
Right.
Right? You can go to places like Second Swing or Vans or PGA Superstore and get secondhand things.
Yeah.
Right? You can go, oh, well, this is great. I can go in there and get this. And that way I'm a little nervous getting into the game.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the club's going to work. And then as you evolve, you can go back to those same stores and get fitted for the right clubs that can work for you so you can hit it further.
Yeah.
Or hit it closer to the hole, like I always say. I always tell the guy when I'm going through the fitting, this isn't working. It's not getting closer to the hole. He's like, well, it just helps you hit the ball. I'm like, no, it should help me get the ball closer to the hole. And they're like, well, we can fit you, but we can't make the ball go closer. So
Love it.
that's good.
What do you think is the easiest and hardest part of the game?
I think the hardest part is getting started.
Okay.
I mean, I think anything.
I can see that.
It's fear. I didn't, even today, when I used to go to those events, I still get a little bit of anxiety on the tee box when people are, because my team, like my group, my foursome's watching. That makes me a little anxiety filled. But, when you have other people at a charity event, it's like when you go watch these, like if you go to the Phoenix Open and they have the Pro-Am, the Annexus Pro-Am, and you see like these executives from the city and like they're up there playing. I'm telling you right now, they're shaking and I don't care what they tell you. It is the most nerve-wracking thing.
Oh, and on that kind of playing field too.
That's right. And so I think the hardest part is getting started.
Yeah.
The easiest part is once you've gotten started is going with it. Because like I said, it consumed me like crazy. Like I was going every Friday for practice. I wanted so badly to be average, right? I'm like, man, I'm fighting to be average. I can't wait. That it captures it's that thing in life where we all want to get better. And I think golf just captures that part, that analogy of life. Like, hey, every day we may not work to get better, but it feels like we are, right? And golf gives you that chance to feel like, oh man, I hit golf balls today. I'm getting better. I'm working at it.
And I'm so interested because, like we talked about at the beginning, it really is a community, and I'd love to break into it because there are so many opportunities for you to really bond, connect with a person because, like you said, it gives you all that time. So, what's a good, place to start off? Just, go to, hit some putt around? I don't even know what to say, Chris.
Again, you can check the retail stores. So like the PGA Superstore does a great job of doing these big clinic type things. But the local golf course, honestly, whatever's closest to your house, they have a golf pro in the building, and you can literally go to that man or woman and say, "Hey, I'm just trying to learn. Do you mind giving me, a little bit of time?" Now, sometimes they'll charge you, sometimes they won't, and depending on that first lesson. But I think once you try those things and you realize there is some frustration, but most people want to get better.
Yeah.
Most people. So I would recommend going to the local golf course.
Okay.
And you know what? If you have a putter, putting.
Yeah.
To me, the putting. And you know what? I got to give Top Golf some credit.
Yeah.
Here. So they've made it really easy to eliminate that fear.
I'm not
by
even
going
good at
there.
that, Chris. I'm screwed.
No. But they have, but Top Golf, there's a new place, Putting World in North Scottsdale.
Yeah, that just opened the promenade.
Is great. I mean, it's remember, competing can be intense, right? People get all competition based and be like, oh, I got
Tiger Woods' place is opening up in Salt River.
Yeah, we were there. I saw you. I just reached out to them today. Matter of fact, Pop Stroke, and talking to them, they're going to build a place in Scottsdale. I made sure I was on the VIP list, by the way.
There you go.
I called the lady and said, hey, that place is pretty neat, but I got to go to the one in Scottsdale. She's like, great.
Fair. Yeah. You all talk about having tournaments and stuff like that. What's something that we in Scottsdale can do for you? Where's the next tournament? What's going on that we could do a call of action and help you guys?
Well, I think the call of action, like I said, is go check out the website. Okay. Our members, it's one of the most unique situations. So we have members from online clubs and we have members from Greengrass. So if you go to Talking Stick, for example, and you join Talking Stick's men's or women's club, you automatically, by joining that club, you become one of our members.
Very nice.
And you can do it online too. Like if you and I want to create the, Hey Good golf group, we can do that with 10 or 12 people and we can create our own online group. So what it can help, I don't know. I would say play the game, get out and play, get out and learn, utilize all the things that we're offering on the azgolf.org website, and check out the memberships because, my job is partially doing the marketing partnerships. And so I try to find golf-centric groups that kind of contribute to the golf lifestyle. So you
Yeah.
get a discount on gloves. You get you discount on,
like
and
it.
of course, you get a discount to go to the PGA Superstore, Vans, or anywhere, sunglasses. We do
Yeah.
all those things for our members that allow them to enjoy the game more. Make sure they look good, right?
Obviously.
Make sure they look
See,
good.
that's the only part I
you
got
know?
going is the looking good part. My very best friend came to visit me. I was just thinking about it, a year ago last March, and we were playing. We were not playing. He was playing at True North, and and I was like, "I'm going to go with you." And he was like, "Seriously?" He's like, "You're not going to do anything." I was like, "No, I'm gonna drive you around on the golf cart." And by halfway in, he's like, "God, you even suck at this, Bowles." He calls me by my maiden name. And I just couldn't get it. I was like, I didn't know you could like drive on this part of the course. Right. And he was like, go. And so I'd like, pedal to the metal, and it doesn't obviously go fast and slam it. He's like, he told the other people that we were playing with, because, you just get paired up with randoms. And he's like, she's just my friend. She's never played. Don't judge her.
Oh my God! The thing about golf is you do a lot of apologizing. Yeah, no, I mean, if it's you and I are playing, we play with another couple. We'll both immediately. A friend, Alvin Adams, who was with the Suns for a long time, he used to have this card he'd give it to you before your charity event, and it was like all your golf excuses.
I love it.
He's like, here, I'm just going to give this to you now.
That's fantastic.
And that way I don't have to say them, because we're always like, hey, you know what? I really don't. I'm not really good, or I didn't warm up, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
haven't played in a while.
I haven't stretched in a while. You're like, okay, every
Just
golf
enough,
excuse.
I love it.
It's
That's
just
me.
so, like I said, I want to focus on the community part, because what it does provide is that interaction.
Yeah.
Right. It's hard. It's not an easy game, but I think when you do things that aren't easy with other people,
it makes it more enjoyable.
it makes way more enjoyable.
And I love that. And I love that you keep focusing on that, because that's exactly why I started this podcast, was to bring the community together, to find a like-mindedness, and to connect people. And I think that's absolutely something that the course does for people. What's your favorite course in Scottsdale?
Ooh. It's funny. It's, that's like asking who was your favorite girlfriend?
Your wife, obviously.
Well, obviously my wife now, but I'm just like, who was before your wife? Who was your favorite girlfriend? I don't know. Let's see. At different stages of my golfing thing, I think Talking Stick will always be one of my favorites.
Okay.
That's because it feels like no matter how good or bad I am, I feel like I can finish. I can scramble and play that course. But I mean, I think, is Weekapaw even in Scottsdale? I think it's considered Scottsdale. Weekapaw, my guy at True North, Mike Friend up there runs True North.
Yeah.
That's a great course, but it's difficult.
It's a beautiful course.
Legend Trail's another one that I really like.
And
it's tough, right? I think it's hard. It's like, who's your favorite child, I guess is a better way to say it.
There you go.
Who's not your favorite girlfriend? Who's your favorite child?
I just learned recently, like the past few years, they do go and change the course. How often? How often does the course change, that they'll like move the hole and stuff like that?
That could be daily, the whole change. Yeah. Like I said, one of the things we do as an organization is we rate the course. So at the beginning of the year, you pretty much know if the course is considered difficult or easy.
Okay.
And so the tee boxes, right, kind of tell you from each tee box will tell you the difficulty. And so when people go out and they're very new, it's so funny because for a long time it was called the ladies' tee, right?
Yes.
The first tee. And so the guys would never play because I don't want to play from the ladies' tee. But the reality is, if that first tee is what's going to help you enjoy the game, then you should play that. I would love to see golf. They would never do it because everyone's got big egos, right? Golf courses to kind of do hey, what's your handicap?
And play
index,
from that.
and you have to play from that tee.
That makes more sense.
Because the person's going to enjoy it more. And, honestly, that's what we're looking for. Can we enjoy it more? Can if I'm playing better, I'm so much happier, right?
Yeah.
And I'm buying more. And all these things can help contribute to that. So that's how I look at it. But again, when I think of beginners, you have my mind going, and like what they can find on our website. And I keep saying the website because everything's there.
Everything is there.
Right?
I mean, there's so much information. You have so many links to help you.
Yeah.
The membership, to learn how to play, where to volunteer, the courses. It really is a one-stop shop for everything. I mean, I love it. There's swing tips from Golf Tech, and it's everywhere you could go. I like that. When you rate these at the beginning of the season and the golf courses see it, they obviously feel like they have to keep up with that rating. So as they move the hole around, like, we have to be conscientious of that?
That's a funny question. and I'm not on the rating team.
Okay. I was about to ask you, do you get to go play and rate them?
Listen, you do not want me rating or putting the hole anywhere because I'm going to make it easy, right? I'm going to be the guy I'm going to make it easy. But the serious golf guys would not like that. They want it to be as difficult. So obviously, once some courses probably argue a little that they want to be rated a little harder.
That's fair.
Right?
That's fair.
But I haven't heard a lot of people arguing about their ratings. Especially now.
It's end of the season.
But there are so many great golf courses.
That's just everywhere. I mean, everywhere you go, there is one.
Because you were I thought you were going to ask me what golf course did you recommend beginner to go play?
And I think it depends. It depends, though.
Right? You could pick any number of golf courses that are fun. Like there's what's the El Dorado, which is right here in Old Town-ish. It's a great course to if you're a beginner to play. It's just But if you're a semi-serious guy who's playing, Wickapaa and Talking Stick and True North, that's not going to be your course.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But you get the good beginner, you're this is great.
I love that you pointed that out. There really is something for every level here. So don't be intimidated. Find what works for you so you enjoy it, and then you can move your way up to the different levels of golf courses around here.
The thing that's interesting, you just said that, is golf has always been a referral sport.
Huh.
Right?
I never thought about that.
So you ask most golfers how they got into it. Typically, either their parents got them into it or a friend.
Yeah.
Right? And so you talk about asking or playing the course that's right for you, ask a golfer. They're going to be able to be first of all, they want you to come into their club. I don't know any golfers no more golfers, we're all full.
That's true.
They want the community. They want more people to come because they love the game. They love the activity. Yeah. And it's very inclusive of a game. Although it doesn't get much inclusivity, right? Because there are some barriers that people have to overcome, primarily price in some cases. Yeah. Right? But other than that, like I said, I was so shocked when I worked at the Suns at how many guys on the team were playing golf. Mm-hmm. For a portion of my time at the Suns, I remember taking official calls, referees calling, because they were like, "Hey man, can you get me a golf time?"
And
I'd have to call the contact we had at the golf course, and hey, referee, guy wants to play at you guys got any times that you can get him in because he's got to be at the game tonight at 7, right?
Interesting.
All kinds of people play, and when we do, these, if you go to watch. Any of the sports teams, and they all have golf tournaments they do for fundraising.
That's true. They do.
You'd be surprised how many guys are playing and how many former players are playing.
And they're good.
Oh, yeah. Well, look at Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
Patrick Peterson. Those guys are serious, right?
Yeah.
And better than them was Carson Palmer. He was our quarterback. And you get an opportunity to golf with these guys, and you're like, holy cow, this guy's really, really good.
It just pissed me off because they're good at everything now.
Steve Nash was that guy.
Yes.
Steve Nash was – I remember we were playing the Phoenician once. I got to play in the group behind him. He's just out there. He's not dressed appropriately. It's like, is he wearing basketball shorts playing golf?
He was.
Like, that's weird. And he's out there, and I get caught up, and it was by Coach D'Antoni was at him. We kind of on the same tee box at par 3, and I said, how's he playing? He's like, he might shoot 79.
Stop it.
I said, and so hey, Steve, when's the last time you played? Oh, I haven't played in a year and a half. I'm like, get the heck out of here. He's that guy we're talking about that's good at everything.
No, I can't. Well, I'm a good talker. So with that, what is your favorite Scottsdale vibe besides golf, Chris?
Wow. Well, I mean, I'm trying to be on different things. I'm in the different committees and boards here. The Scottsdale vibe I like is I'm going to say the word diversity again, because I think it has a little something for everyone.
Yeah.
And something that brings everyone together.
I love that.
And I think if you look at the activities we do, I mean, the Old Town has every kind of restaurant you want. Plus, they have these festivals that are so fun. The Canal Convergence thing. I don't know if you've been to that.
Oh, yeah, we go every year. It's
awesome.
Gorgeous.
And then the holiday thing, I brought the whole family down for the big tree. And that's just one spot. That's not even talking about what they did down at Westworld.
Yeah.
So I think I like the ability to be in the middle of that kind of stuff.
I love our little bubble.
Yeah, I'm not in a big city, but I feel like I'm in a great city.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that what they've done is tremendous.
I also love that everything is 20 minutes away in Scottsdale.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Depending on the time of the day, but everything is about 20 minutes, I feel like, which is just convenient to enjoy all that.
The best part about working at the Golf Association is that golf can touch different kinds of people. Yeah. Right, and different kind of jobs and everything, but it's one of those things. And one of the reasons why, when I got asked to come over, that I did is that at any one time, I literally can have a golf conversation with somebody.
That's
Either
true.
They're bad, or they're really good, or they like the courses, or they tell me where they traveled. And so that's what's great about the game to me is it does even strangers. And it's
everywhere.
Talk about it. Oh,
It
yeah.
really is. I had a friend he's a golfer. He lives in D.C. and they were having a networking group out here meet, for business mentors for his career and stuff like that. And he's like, "Oh, I'm going to Scottsdale so I can golf." And
Right.
it's like, and him and his bros do a golf trip every year to a different. It's always he's like, we never repeat because you don't have to.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things that everyone can get involved in.
Well, I think everyone kind of takes, and we're going to call that tourism, right? So
Yeah.
take the tourism role pretty serious. Like if you make things fun.
Yeah.
One of the guys I used to work with at the Suns he was this quirky guy, and he said something that I thought was great. And he's like, if you make everyone's experience like their first one,
I love that.
you'll always be successful. And so I took that philosophy into working at the Suns. And when I come here and I talk to people, even in this case, I try to think of that. Like, what's a first impression that would be fun or something they would enjoy,
Yeah.
learning about. And so I think that the tourism group, as a whole in Scottsdale, we all have long days and long hours, still treats this like, hey, we're really proud of the city.
We are.
And we're proud to, be able to serve in this particular capacity. So.
I love that. Well, as Chris said, everything you need to know is at azgolf.org. It is plenty of information. And if not, you can just get a hold of Chris because he's on there too. And join the newsletter. Like he said, it's a great one-stop shop for all the resources and updates as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck. What's your handicap today?
I got to look at my gin app.
Oh, stop
It's probably 15.5 or something.
Okay.
Again, I don't get to play very much.
See, look at this excuse. Is that on your golf cart
I
excuse?
told you, a golf cart. Listen, if someone hasn't started selling those right now,
We need
like
to do
as
it.
add-on, we should probably just
I love
link that. I appreciate you having me on. This was fun. Obviously, I'm not super formal about talking about our association.
But that's what makes it so fun, and that's what makes it enjoyable to be a part of, is that you're focusing on what matters, and that's just bringing awareness to the game and helping people better what they want to enjoy.
Yeah, and I get to go in with golf shoes.
I love it. That's true.
Hey, come on.
Stay tuned. We'll have some calendar events coming up next. When it comes to protecting you, your family, and all your assets, you need to have someone that you can trust, and that's Jeremy Mueller of State Farm Insurance. Jeremy Mueller has lived in Scottsdale his whole life. How can anyone else know your needs more than someone who's been here and seen it all? Jeremy and his team are always ranked in the top % at State Farm. He cares, he's knowledgeable, and most importantly, he's always available. Don't believe me? Give him a call at 480-515-5223 or find him at jeremymueller.com.